Charlie, taking you through some of the things people are talking about and some of the stuff they're sharing around the world on Newsfeed today. New fires have started in the Amazon, even though the government's put a ban on burning. Hurricane Dorian causes destruction in the Bahamas. A lovely moment between two future tennis greats at the US Open. And what a way to go fishing. Viral video out of Australia, which could land the producers in trouble. And top of our newsfeed, those new fires in the Amazon. Now, they've started in the past few days despite the Brazilian government putting a ban on burning. But there have been restrictions on burning there for a while, and that hasn't stopped farmers starting fires at a rate not seen for many years. The Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro has weakened protections for the rainforest. Critics say his rhetoric of profit and agribusiness over environmental protections has led to trees being cut, burned and cleared with impunity. Now, Richard Pearshouse is the head of Crisis and Environment at Amnesty International. He says that Amnesty puts the responsibility for the fires directly on Bolsonaro and explained how political conditions have created a perfect storm this fire season.
The impact of these policies at the local level is Amnesty's main point of research. And what we're finding is essentially fear. The indigenous communities sense something is very different under Bolsonaro. They sense that the illegal land grabbers are emboldened. They're moving in, the land grabbers are moving in ways they didn't used to move. So for instance, there'll be invasions during the day. There'll be invasions of their land much closer to where the indigenous people are living. There'll be invasions that will include many hundreds of land grabbers, whereas in past years it may have been dozens. And so all of these things add up to an existential crisis for indigenous people on their own lands in the Amazon. And that's essentially one of fear. One of the conversations that stuck with me most closely from our research was talking to a young indigenous mother who was talking about how difficult it was to put her children to sleep. The difficulty came because the land grabbers very close were firing gunshots into the air at night as an act of intimidation. She was able to put her children to sleep, but she wasn't able to sleep herself. And that's the sort of intimidation and fear that indigenous people are living every day under the new Bolsonaro way of governing the Amazon. Land grabbers will say, no, this is no longer your land. This is our land now. The government is taking your land away. This government has our back. So that's happening at the national level, those sorts of that sort of encouragement, those sorts of dog whistles to go onto indigenous land and environmental reserves and to convert it to pasture. And these are essentially people who feel that this government has green-lit their own desires for more land. The decree says that land clearing fires are illegal. They were already illegal. So it's unlikely to have the effect that everybody hopes. The real important question is whether or not that law, either the decree or the existing law, is enforced. Are the authorities, the civilian authorities responsible for keeping land safe, are they actually enforcing the law? And by that I mean, are they patrolling the territories? Are they patrolling in sufficient number? Are they investigating and prosecuting those who are responsible? And on that point, Amnesty is very worried. We're worried because since Bolsonaro has come to power, he and his government has reduced the funding for the civilian authorities responsible for protecting indigenous territories and environmental reserves.
Well, now, Hurricane Dorian is starting to make its presence felt in the Bahamas, and people on social media have been posting video showing the destruction. The storm has brought with it 260 km/h winds and gusts of 285 km/h. Now, this video from the Weather Center account shows a pretty apocalyptic scene. The main thrust of the storm has passed. This is Abaco Island, and you can see the damage that's been left in its wake. More from Abaco Island here, and you can see in this one just how high the water has got, flipping boats and leaving them in places they really shouldn't be. And this here from an apartment complex at a place called Marsh Harbour. You can see how damaged the building is, and the commentary from the person filming it says a lot.
Oh my God, Angie, the window.
I know.
My baby car seat.
But the Bahamas is not the only place where wild weather has been captured on camera recently. This was filmed in Arizona a few days ago and has gone viral since it was posted. A weatherman was preparing for his live report on the local news when this happened. Well, no one was hurt, but the power was knocked out as a result. Let's have a look at some of the other things that caught our eye on social media. Now, the tennis world #1, Naomi Osaka, consoled Coco Gauff after beating her in the US Open last night. And the moment caused the internet to get all into its feels. The older but still young, soon-to-be master, encouraged an even younger potential future master to show her emotions.
I mean, it was amazing. I mean, she did amazing, and I'm going to learn a lot from this match. And she's been so sweet to me, so thank you for this. Thank you.
For me, like the fact that both of us made it, and we're both still working as hard as we can, I think it's incredible. And I think you guys are amazing. I think, Coco, you're amazing.
Now, people who want to superimpose their face onto the face of a celebrity have been warned about a new app that allows you to do just that. It's called Zao. As you can see, you can put your face in places it's not meant to be, with hilarious results or something like that. But as with that face app which blew up a few months ago, the pictures uploaded can then be used by the company that owns them forever in whatever way they want. Don't say you've not been warned. Now, the body of a man who was deported to Iraq as part of Donald Trump's tough stance on immigration has been returned to the United States. This is the story of Jimmy Al-Daud.
I begged them, I said, please, I've never seen that country, I've never been there. However, they forced me, I'm here now, and I don't understand the language, anything. I've been sleeping in the street, I'm diabetic, I take insulin shots, I've been throwing up, sleeping in the street, trying to find something to eat. You know, I got nothing over here, as you can see.
Now to Mexico for a look at how people there are obsessed with social media. People there seem to spend an amazing amount of time on Facebook and Insta and the others. Here's Valeria.
Mexicans can't seem to take their eyes off their mobile phones.
The truth is that social media makes it easier to know about others. I don't even speak on the phone anymore. All my communications are through social media. For me, it's more practical.
Mexico is one of the world's largest markets for Facebook, with 99% of social media users there, according to the Internet Association. In a recent study by Global Web Index, Mexico ranked third on the list of countries where social media is used more often, climbing a position from last year. Luis Angel Hurtado is a researcher at Mexico's National Autonomous University. His work reveals how much time Mexicans spend per day staring at a smartphone or computer screen.
Mexicans spend 8 hours on the internet, 6 of which are spent on social media. That's a quarter of our day out of 24 hours. 6 are devoted to surfing social media.
Experts say this phenomenon is a cause for concern. One psychologist says disconnecting can trigger the same symptoms as any other addiction.
When a person has developed some kind of addiction to social media, we can identify the symptoms such as anxiety and irritability when the user is not connected to the digital world.
The long periods of time that Mexicans spend surfing social media is a big business for marketers. Advertising budgets are shifting away from television and other traditional media to platforms like Facebook and Instagram.
We are dealing with a very dynamic environment. Okay? What works today may not work tomorrow. So you have to be on your toes, and you have to be always testing, always experimenting, and trying new stuff.
The growth of social media has so far outpaced any critiques, especially as businesses use the internet to connect with Mexicans who can't or don't want to sign off.
Okay, let's keep spinning around the world now for some other stories you need to know this Monday. A mining company's ability to extract from the land in Australia has overridden the rights of Indigenous people in an area of Queensland. The Galilee Basin will be the site of the Adani Carmichael coal mine. A couple of days ago, the area was made a freeholding of the mining company Adani, effectively removing the rights of the Wangan and Jagalingu people. People in the area are protesting against the mine using the hashtag #StopAdani on social media. A 20-year-old man called James Todd has been jailed for life for killing a comedian in a park in Melbourne, Australia last year. The death of Eurydice Dixon shocked the public and showed the extreme end of violence against women in Australia. Its Human Rights Commission says that the rate of violent acts is disturbingly high. After the verdict, Eurydice's father showed extraordinary compassion.
I am very glad there's a killer off the streets. What I'd wish for James Todd, and what I believe Eurydice would wish, is that he gets better and comes to a full realisation, and realises what he's done. I extend my sympathy, my sincere sympathy for those who love him. It's a terrible tragedy all round.
Greta Thunberg is in the US for the Climate Change Summit after sailing across the Atlantic. She has been attacked by people for her activism and has responded to those who mocked her looks and her Asperger's by tweeting this. She wrote that when haters go after your looks and differences, it means they have nowhere left to go. And then you know you're winning. I have Asperger's, and that means I am sometimes a bit different from the norm, and given the right circumstances, being different is a superpower. And the Pope has spoken out against the climate crisis, saying that the world governments need to take drastic action. He called for a reduction in fossil fuel use and saying that the planet's current trajectory threatens nature and life itself. He said all of this in a speech on Sunday, a speech that he was 25 minutes late for because he was stuck in an elevator. He had to be rescued by the Vatican's fire department. Apparently, a drop in voltage caused the lift to malfunction. The scientists have spotted a new massive planet in the galaxy, and this one is not only unique due to its size, it is 3 times the mass of our nearest biggest planet, Jupiter. It also travels on an extreme elliptical orbit, an egg-shaped one, as opposed to the more circular orbits of Earth and other planets in our solar system. The planet has a catchy name, HR 5183b. It's evidence that we are constantly learning new and interesting things about what is out there beyond our own atmosphere. And Kim Kardashian helped to get Alice Marie Johnson out of prison, and now Alice Marie Johnson is being used by Kim Kardashian to sell a line of underwear. Many on social media have been quick to say how distasteful it seems for Kardashian to be seeming to profit from the good deed she did by helping Johnson get out of prison.
I was serving a life plus 25-year sentence without the possibility of parole. Kim saw a video of me. She heard my story. She said, "This is so unfair."
And last up, some people who run a Facebook page called UAV Me uploaded this. It's a guy fishing from a chair suspended beneath a homemade drone. They did it so they can fish in a reservoir where motorboats aren't allowed, and also so they could troll the authorities, who have not found this video half as funny as it actually is. Wait, there he goes. The Australian Civil Aviation Safety Authority are investigating the video and say they may take action against those who posted it. And that will do from the Newsfeed team. Reach out to me with your questions, comments, complaints and suggestions. You'll find me at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us 24/7 on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel and you can follow me on Twitter. Follow, subscribe and add. See you again tomorrow.